Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Man, that ending is like so long on that. I have to chop that down.
Man, we got to work on that, man. That was like
I was like,
almost
man,
there.
is it going to
It's
stop? Is it going to stop?
it's
Is it
there.
going to
Wait,
stop? Is it
hold
going to
on,
stop?
hold on,
You see
Jimmy.
me? I
It's
was
almost
like,
there.
what is up, everybody? How is everybody's
What's
Monday
going
night
on
going?
there, folks? Man, I gotta get on with some of these comments here already. Texas,
Got Jamie
yes.
Brodowski in the house.
Chet Teal is the man there.
Got Ted there.
Ted, what's going on? Do we do shows there? Yeah. Let's see. MS Craft Chest. Yes. Mississippi, how we doing? Texas, we're doing good. Ted, you're only 80 miles from me, man. I hope you're not getting any of the rain yet, or if you did, you already got it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm excited for 712. It's going to be a great show, just like it always is. Now, remember,
Oh yeah.
guys, this year I'm doing something totally different than what I normally do. Normally, it's a all weekend long show. This year, it will not be. It will be two separate shows, and you also have the chance of making it four shows if you guys want to use your extra points or your extra shows for that show. But remember, you have to let me know if you're going to use your extra. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Your extra two times show, you have to let me know and fill out a separate piece of paper. And yes,
Yep.
you have to pay for each class $30. There will be no discounts. You will have to pay $30 for each class. Well, for the first beginning one, and then 20 for any addition. So
Your
your
money to
next
the
show,
leader
like even
sewing.
if you're going to use Saturday for one show and you want to do it two times, your two times will be like a separate show all by itself. So you'll have to treat it just like a separate show, but you won't have to put your numbers up. You won't have to come back and run in the lanes.
Nope.
I talked to Billy about that, and what we are doing for that is from here on out, anybody that runs and uses their two times event, the judge, after we're done, let's say I run my show on Friday, after we're done on Friday, I have to create a new event and do the people that use their double show points, and you're only going to get a score of 99.
Yep.
So yes, granted, it might kind of hurt you on the leaderboard or whatever. If you think you could possibly put up your best numbers, whatever. I'm sorry, but you better put them up in your first runs, not your second ones or whatever. But it'll basically just show 99. That way, it's easier for Billy to keep track of things. So
Yep. It's a show only, guys and gals. So it doesn't. You know, your one show out of the year that really ought to count is finals. Let's be honest. It's the only show that does count in the personal best or world record scenario. Everything else is just there for testing and if you want to do something fun with it or crazy with it, you're throwing in your $50 subwoofers. Definitely do that during the year. Don't be doing that at finals when it really, really counts.
I
But
mean, yeah, absolutely.
unless it does count really well and you're better, but it'll
I mean,
happen and it's fun to do.
but not only that. I mean, I think the best part about the whole weekend is just the experience and the weekend itself. And
Yeah.
people don't understand it when you get into a community where there's nothing but bass heads right there. No one around is going to bitch about music. No one's going to even complain. Hell, there was one year where Paul Nacer played until almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I was the one that actually complained because he was vibrating the shit out of my camper all night long. But I kept it quiet until about 4, and then I had had enough. But I mean, it's amazing how everybody can get together, no problems, no issues, no nothing. And the whole
Yep.
time I've been there, there's been one problem. And that was taken care of really quick and really immediately and shut down. And we don't have no thieves. We don't have people messing with people's systems. We all just get there and we have a great time. It's a community of nothing but truthfully good people and bass heads. And we have a great time all weekend long. And trust me, if there's something in your system that you don't quite understand or you think you might be able to possibly get it louder, this is the best weekend for it because there's
Oh,
so
you
much
got
knowledge and experience there from
Yeah.
everybody else that can actually help you and help you possibly get louder or possibly help you understand your system a little better. So please remember, there's a lot of people there with a lot of knowledge.
Yep.
Reach out, talk to
It
somebody.
would.
If you have any questions, don't be afraid. 90% of these guys won't bite. They might be old, scruffy looking guys like me, but we don't bite. Just come talk to us. I guarantee you, hell, my wife could probably get half of you guys louder in the lanes just by her knowledge. And she
Yep.
does it all the time, and it's amazing to see. But, it's a very, very fun, friendly, I almost want to say a family event, but the only reason why I would say it wouldn't be a family event because once the lights go out, everybody starts drinking and goofing off. But it's still, it's not like it's bad. I know that the echo's coming bad from Dan's stuff. I know. I told him that before we started, but I don't think he understands how bad the echo is.
It's Jimmy's stuff. It ain't my stuff. My stuff is standard.
It's not me. It's coming from your stuff. It's coming from your computer screen. Every time I talk, I hear an echo through
I
you.
got the smallest computer running though, man. I mean, it's not even a tower. It's a mini PC. It's like the size of a suitcase.
Well, I know. Maybe
But
turn
yeah,
speaker down,
but
maybe?
712 it's a phenomenal event. And I don't think people realize how big that event is for you, Jimmy, because it's about 200 miles away from you. It's about 85 from me, honestly, but it literally is a big, what used to be a driving range at a bar and grill area. There's still a goalpost, if you will, out in the center of the field where at about 6 o'clock, as was mentioned by someone, to do the certainly the biggest event up here for BassWars and a couple other orgs that follow as well. It's fun. It literally is a big driving range at this bar and grill. They also have food. They've got showers available. It is
very
3
well
days
said,
of camping. It's got everything. It is fun. I would say that there are probably 75 to 100 competitive vehicles that show up at it. So in regards to there being space, yeah, we have space. Believe me, there's enough for 3 or 4 orgs to run.
But honestly, I've talked to Tajan about it
all the time.
I've talked to Tajan about it, and I don't think that he wants to bring any more organizations there. I think he's happy with just keeping it with just a couple.
I would be happy
It's
with
less
the 3
stress
or
and
4
less
that we
headache.
see now.
Well, I don't even think there's going to be that many anymore. I think there's going to be possibly just 2.
The big 2 up here in the upper Midwest.
Midwest SBL and us.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much going to be it. Hi, everybody. Hi, Joe. Wow, I ain't seen his ass in a while. Look at that. The infamous quiet man himself. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Hopefully your baby's feeling a little better. I know he's under the weather, I believe.
So I want to throw this one out there for you, and that is that it doesn't apply to us.
To be honest with you, I haven't actually upgraded my show or upgraded my term lab because I knew there was some new shit to it that I don't know that I'm ready to try or to start messing with in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Because me and Billy have learned this long ways in a long time is it's like you don't upgrade your term lab in the middle of the season because something could change in there and it could fuck up the whole program for the whole rest of the year.
Seemingly has, kind of, in this regard. What Travis, what you're referring to is the
term lab
using 20K or 25K on a single sub where they're in like a stock class in another org for a 1K vehicle, saying they have that much rise that they need 1,000 watts of clean power. It doesn't apply to us because one, we go by rated power anyway. We don't necessarily need to know that type of information. Our vehicles are already some of the loudest in the world. So
no. We are the loudest in the world. We have beach running in our shit. We had the big guys running with us. Carlos, Greg
I'm
Corbin.
giving Alan the benefit of the doubt here, but yeah, RP and Carlos, they've helped us out quite a bit. Carlos with his subwoofer testings.
I mean, you
we
also got
actually
to.
could go out
Greg
there,
is
and
no punk
RP has
himself
helped us
either.
so much as well. We
Greg
got
Corbin
gloves.
is no punk.
Yeah,
He's still doing the upraise.
we don't want to get sidelined by someone who's throwing an XYZ 20K on a 10-inch sub and saying that they have that much rise because they've tested so much and brought so much drama into it. That's just not us. That's not how Jimmy wants to do it. That's not how Billy wants it. That's not how I want it. That's not how any of our judges want it. We want fun, and we are fun. Come out, play along with us, and if you're not having fun, quite honestly, look at the person behind the judge, because that's who you got to blame. Because if they're not having fun, you're probably not having fun. And I've been to enough of Jimmy and Sonia's shows. I've been to enough of my own and enough of other people's and other orgs. If the judges aren't smiling and having fun with it, the show ain't going to be good. And I speak from experience on that, because I had a really bad show last year one time. And everybody knew it because they saw me throw my phone. And I wasn't having fun.
Well, I mean,
but
like we always say, we want to keep everything fun, and we're here for the enjoyment and to have fun with everybody as well. But every once in a while, there's headaches or them hiccups that we can't foresee before we get to a show. Like 2 shows ago, I had a hiccup. I literally got there, I loaded up everything, and every time I tried to even enter a name, it told me that there was an error. And I mean, I swear to you, I restarted the computer, I checked everything, and come to find out it was a faulty cable. It was literally a faulty fucking HDMI cable, or a faulty cable. So I literally had to, I don't know. So I had to actually redo everything when I didn't have to. But, it is what it is. I'm still trying to get a big ass BassWars shirt. I could basically say if I don't have it size wise, reach out to Billy Temple. If he doesn't have it, I mean, I know he had been talking about getting more shirts printed up. I want to say I probably have the last of Billy's shirts. So you'll have to hit me up at a show to see what I have.
Hey there, Chris/Gordon. I got you covered on that. I'm going to make a couple on Monday, coming up next week, Monday, when I get back from my big journey this weekend to North Dakota. I am specifically making the bigger shirts. I'm going to make about 10 of them from 4X on up. So I will have a shirt for you. It'll be after 7/12, unfortunately, because it's going to be on Monday. But I will have that shirt for you, Chris, so don't worry about it.
I would say hit up Mama, too, because she kind of might know the sizes off the top of her head. I'm not promising she does.
Sure.
So, I mean, you might be able to hit up Mama, and Mama might be able to tell you, hey, I've got some sitting upstairs.
If we got something, I will definitely contact her and find out. Oh, there's
Billy has low someone. Okay, you're running low there, Mr. Temple.
Mr. K? Mrs. K?
Oh, ain't he cute? Yeah. Look at you trying to squeeze
it. Look at you guys. Look at you guys sharing a window like that.
He misses me. Hey, on here, let's I have to take it off. We tried messing with that a minute ago, Billy. It's not laying in there correctly, sir.
How's that?
There we go. That looks good.
Right?
Hell yeah. Mr. Temple in the house.
How goes it, y'all? I was listening. I couldn't talk. Oh, my God. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, wow.
Those are the ones I like as well, Greg.
What's that?
Did you see the new effect where you can actually add the comments to the white
screen?
Where I can do full screen now and I can actually see the comments down. That's a game changer.
Yeah, that is cool.
I love it.
I bet it's good for the on the phone thing.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but this is amazing because I don't have to look at that little bitty screen and have to keep going
Yeah.
back and forth and back and forth. I can just look right there.
The only
That's
problem is
amazing.
I put it right where your face is. I didn't know about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe we
I'll
can move
fix
it.
it.
Maybe we can move it earlier or later on, but that's cool. I like that. I like that part.
Hmm.
Josh, let me take a look here as I'm looking through the numbers right now. I do not see your number on the website list right now, so it is kind of a good thing that we have Billy on for that.
Yep, that's what I saw the comment, and I'm pulling it up right
See,
now.
there's even an echo coming from Billy on your screen, Dan. Everybody's you're echoing,
Oh
sir.
man. All
Do you
right.
have
Well,
Facebook open? If you do, that'll cause it.
I do, but I'm going to get my echo cancellation thing here, but
Yeah,
Echo,
not
echo,
really
echo.
coming.
yeah.
That worked perfectly, Dan. Whatever you just did, stopped it.
All
Echo,
right.
echo,
Well,
echo,
good deal.
echo.
Closed
Yeah,
Facebook. It's a miracle worker.
I mean seriously, whatever you just did, stopped it 100%.
Perfect.
Uh, we he's working on that. I don't want to jump to the gun, but he's working on that. We'll see.
Which what am I working on?
What I posted on the screen, sir.
Uh
Hoping to
oh,
meet Billy.
yeah, no doubt. I hope I'm gonna try real hard. This is the overbooked. I got excess and that, but I'm gonna see what the cost would be.
Absolutely,
And I'm
absolutely.
trying to
Yeah, Josh, I
remember
am not seeing your
pull up my
number
store.
listed, unfortunately. See a couple other Joshes listed, but I do not see your name on it. And
That's
speaking of membership numbers,
um,
guys, gals,
who-
make sure your numbers are on the screen. If we don't have them on the screen, we can't tell you what they are. And you might get that number in an email before we see it on the screen. So if you're buying it right now on the membership website or on the BassWars store, basswars.org/store, it'll move you out to a new site, move you out to a square site where you can
Yeah.
purchase all kinds of things, stickers, shirts, more importantly, your membership. You got to have those 7 shows for finals, remember.
and also here's another thing you guys have to remember: the judges don't have a list of your member numbers written down. It is very
No,
crucial that you need to remember your member number. And I mean, I know it's it's real hard to remember that number, not, but take a screenshot of it, write it down in your wallet, put it somewhere, because I mean, my wife is amazing, and half the time she will stop what she's doing and she'll go look it up. But it's I hate to say it, it's so unfair for you guys right in the middle of the show to come up and ask me for your member number. You guys kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude about it, but you guys kind of need to help us out a little bit because we're right in the middle of doing a show. For me to stop or for my wife to stop what we're doing to go look up your member number, something that you already have, it would make it so much easier and just more convenient if you could just write it down on the top of your paper before you give it to me. And because I really feel like that there's a couple times where you guys don't have it or you get frustrated and you don't put it down. And when you don't put it down, you don't get the points for your show. And then
right,
2 months later, you're upset because you didn't get points. Well, you didn't get points because you didn't put your number down there. I mean, I'm
right.
sorry, not my responsibility to remember that. We'll just say, for instance, Chris Robertson is a member. And I don't mean, I'm not throwing you out there, so don't take that wrong. But it's not my job to understand that you are a member or to know that you're a member. You need to make
Correct.
sure that you're communicating that with your judge or whoever it is. And if you haven't, Josh, got your email, that's the biggest thing is just because you paid for a membership, you have to go in and fill out an email with all your information. So
Yeah, it's a little link.
if you haven't filled out your email, that could be the reason why you're not seeing your member number.
There also could be another reason. It could be that I'm slacking. I got about 10 member numbers I have to create. I'm trying to get there right now. See
I
what
mean,
I got.
I know,
See,
but I mean, not trying to be ugly, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus because I mean,
Nope.
it happens. I get busy, you get busy, Billy gets busy, the competitor gets busy. We all get busy. We all have personal lives, and we all have real stressful lives in front of us. Well, some of us do, some of us don't, whatever. But
Yep.
just make it
But
easier for you and for everybody else. Just write it down on a little piece of paper and throw it in your wallet.
Yeah,
or
Josh,
well,
you'll
like
be
you
getting
said,
something.
tattoo
Josh,
it on your cheek. There you go. Tattoo it on your cheek. Pick one.
yeah,
There you go. That's the
Josh
best way.
will be getting something in the morning. He got his. I can't tell the date, but it's been a minute ago. He
And
got his
unfortunately,
on.
sometimes Billy gets a little slacks with it too. Is and
Yeah.
he's got a life too.
Yeah, he got his a long time ago. He's over a month. My bad.
If it happens though, just reach out to whoever you bought your membership from,
He,
like
he,
Josh. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, so don't take this wrong, but like by the second week, if you still hadn't got an email from Billy, reach back out to your judge, whoever you bought your stuff for, and make sure that they sent the stuff off, or just make sure it's not a communication problem with you gave us the wrong email. I
yeah.
didn't type it in right. Things happen.
So this is
Yep.
the way it works. If you buy it online, usually I'm a lot quicker at this. He's been over a month on his. That's just me slacking.
Damn
But
it.
either if you buy it online, which is probably the
No,
best
no,
way,
no. You're fine, Chris.
but
No,
if
Chris,
you
not a
buy
problem.
it from a judge, the judge will give you a link, the same link that Josh, I will email you along with Scott Voss, Kyle King, Charles Wilcox, and Nate King and Anthony Caldwell in the morning. But anyway, so you'll get this link. It's just a form, and it takes about 5 minutes. It tells us a little bit about you, your address, all stuff, your system, all that stuff. And what we use that for is so like when I get that information, I compile it from everybody, and every year I message John Price, hey man, you got this much market share in the BassWars product. I message Sundown, I message Kicker, I message anybody that I know that has product, I message them, and that kind of will help them to get back involved in us in our competitive industry, or it won't. But that's what I do with the data. That's why it's important. But anyway, so if you purchase it from a judge, the judge will give you a link. They'll share a link by text or whatever, and you fill out that link, and then it's on me after that.
What's up, Tim Jones? Tim Jones
Yeah.
in the house.
If you do it on the website, it's all me, and so no slacking on the judges, just slacking on me.
Well, nobody's perfect though, and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to throw that just up on you or
Mm.
anybody else. We all try.
I don't mind admitting when I screw up.
Well, and that's very honorable about you, and we appreciate the hell out of that because there's a lot of people out there that won't. But still, it happens,
Yeah.
hiccups, But if you haven't heard, and this goes for anybody out there, if you haven't heard from Billy or somebody, you hadn't got an email within a couple weeks of you paying for your membership, reach back out. And I'm sorry, I see what you said. You did reach out to Tim, and I apologize. It happens. Things happen.
Yeah,
Whoever Tony might have been really, really busy. That's why he didn't reach out to you yet. I'm sorry.
I usually batch them, so I don't do them every day. I usually do them about once a week or once every two, because it's not very many. It's not like that we're getting 10 a day. It ain't like that. I mean, we got 5 or 6 in a month.
Josh, I would say just after this, Josh, send Billy a PM, and you guys can talk, and he can make sure you got the points for
Yeah,
the show.
no need. I watch it. I got him right here, and I'll do them all these in the morning.
Yeah, he'll take care of you, Billy. He's a very fair person, but and also, and once again, I'm not trying to be rude, but you guys have to remember, Billy does all this. We don't have some fancy program. We don't have some fancy person sitting behind screens that does all this. Billy does all this. So, it's bound determined to have a hiccup here and there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, but
also, I don't get alerts when people buy something from the store. I don't get, I don't get that. It's not enough to really. We just don't do a lot. I mean, how many of you even knew we had a BassWars store? We don't do much with it.
Because I tell people to go there, but yeah, we got good stuff on it, guys. So
where is that BassWars store at?
Right.
It's www.org.
Yeah, you can find it there. Yeah, no doubt.
So and we had a couple of people asking about some larger shirts, Billy.
Which kind of shirts?
Like 3X, 4X, 5X.
The black ones are about gone. I've got about 2 totes left of them. But we've been selling those things now for about 3 years, I guess. So in order to make a T-shirt to where it's profitable to sell, you got to order a bunch of them. I think I did 500 of them shirts, and they've been sitting on the shelf for 3 years now. So
The problem is,
probably won't do as many, but I have some light gray ones. I got 500 shirts in the garage that I'll be taking to a printer in the next couple weeks, probably.
I'm gonna have something.
So we have some coming. Yeah, I appreciate people wanting them though.
Greg's got small and like I said,
Yeah, all the big ones are gone.
We have some too as well, but I don't know what size I have.
I bet they're XL. I got a lot of XLs. I don't even know how many 2Xs I got. Hardly any small ones either.
I think I have a couple small ones, but the small don't sell because there's hardly anybody that's small anymore, hell, including my big ass. But no, we're there. We're trying to get shirts made for you.
I got one that I've accidentally ripped across the bottom of it and up one of the sides, and I use that one myself only because of that reason. Otherwise, I'd have one.
I'm just thanking God that when I ordered this shirt, it was really big because it's not really big no more.
Yeah, all those were so big, man. They were hard to sell. Fist to order more of those, but they were hard.
These shirts, I will say, I know that they were
big.
a huge pain in the ass, but these shirts are so lightweight and breathable. They were worth the money that we spent on them. I'll tell you that. Right?
Yeah, they were expensive, but so I wear an XL, maybe a 2X if it's a cotton shirt that has shrank a lot.
Oh yeah, see that's
a large was almost just too big for me.
Yeah, a large is almost a 2XL. I mean, it's still kind of large on me, but if it's a little
for the ladies,
those things are not
run small.
It was reversed for the ladies.
Not true to size for certain. It's at least a size and a half, if not 2 sizes too big, like you said, Billy.
So we're about to order some more for the judges and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what size to tell people to order if they come out the right size.
I would say I don't know. That's scary.
Right.
I mean, if they stay with the sizes or what they've been doing, if you order a large, it's going to be an extra large. So I order a medium, so it'd be a large. But in the females, it's reverse. If you order a large, it's going to be a small.
Medium.
Medium or small. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. I still have some of those. I just like, man, I can't sell these.
What size?
They're big. They're all 2XL or XL. Yeah. They're XL, but they're really like 2XL. And to some people might be a 3X. But for those people that wear a 3X, they can't really wear these. They're a little tight. But for those of you that wear a 2X, they're a little bit big still.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this was a large, but it was. Yeah, this was a large, but I mean it turned out pretty big.
Still big on you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of big, so I don't know. Gotta feel it out, but I don't know. I was pretty happy with them. They're amazing shirts, though. They're actually really, really comfortable. Yeah,
they are comfortable. Yeah, I don't wear them that often just because mine are so big on me. It's like I'm wearing hey, y'all, this is Kraft. I want you guys to know I'm trying to convince him to come on with us, but I ain't trying too hard because I was supposed to call him Sunday. I couldn't get him. And then Kraft, I learned I had dialed one digit off.
He said baby Kraft shirts.
So hopefully he's going to come on the live streams with us a good bit. He's good at it.
Let's get back to this. No, but do you have to be entered at finals for your runs to count towards finals? I guess I don't understand what you mean by that, sir.
Yeah,
Brett's answering the question from a while ago from Chris that do you have to be a member to run at BassWars?
Oh,
to be a member, your runs count for finals, but you do not need to be a member to show up at a show and just find out what your score is. But if you want to show up at finals, you got to have 7 entries in the same class, meaning you got to have 7 Typhoon Trunk or 7 Bandit or 7 Unleashed Wall or whatever class you're competing in. You can't have 3 in one, 3 in another, and 1 in Port Wars.
Right,
That
absolutely. You
will
have to
get you
make sure.
7, but not the 7 that we're looking for. We want 7 in the same class.
Yeah.
Now, if we accidentally move something from you've done Typhoon Wall all year and Billy accidentally puts in Typhoon Trunk, well, we're going to see that and know that you don't have a trunk, and we're going to, we will
Address
take
it.
care of that in the end.
Yeah.
But got to have 7 in the same class, different shows. They can be the double shows like Jimmy was talking about earlier, where we can do 2 shows during the year for you. You can pay your extra $30 and we'll get you a score of 99 or 100.
Yeah.
Because
So,
those shows, they're really just there to help you
and
balance out.
let me touch on that too. I was looking over the top 10s. I saw, I think it might be in Brett has a score of 99 on there. Normally what I do is I trigger those to where they don't show up on the top 10s. I missed his. But we do that manually. But yeah, so what the judge does, they run the show. When the show's over, they go and enter your score into it, but they give you a score of 99. And then when I get it, I process it a little differently and take it out.
No, Brett, we're not updating any term labs until after the season's over. Deal with it.
No. I will update that one. That's not one that we use, but yeah, I haven't done it yet.
What's up, Zachary? How are you, sir? No, we were actually talking about that earlier. I told everybody I'm not doing the update until after the season's over.
Yeah.
Because we've had that mistake where it's messed up term lab and it fucked up the rest of the season. I'm not going to.
Yeah. So what happens is if any of you have term labs, it's just kind of how it works for us. And I guess any other org going forward, is there's all the little buttons over where you can choose the different orgs right there. Well, we're not on there. So we have to use that little yellow button. And so for that yellow button now, if you have event promoter software, you can go and there's another little tab where you'll enter in your classes. Well, so if we enter our classes, it's 48 of them that, we've got the thing filled up. We enter our classes and you enter, like if there's a frequency cap or a power cap or stuff like that. Well, okay, so you enter it all in and you save it. So you only have to enter it the once, but if it updates, then you have to re-enter all that stuff again. And most of the judges only do it every once in a while. They don't do it as often as I do. So kind of it's hard to get it right every time. And I'm kind of a slave driver about the data. So like I make sure that they enter them all in the exact same order as the score sheet. And so, they'll get 30 of them in and, oh man, I missed one up there. Sorry, man, you need to go back and delete all those and put them in order, kind of thing. Because we're using a spreadsheet, not a computer, and it don't find the mistakes like a computer would.
What's up, Jeremy? I have a show next weekend in Springfield. Like we have mentioned before, unfortunately, and I'm not admitting defeat. I'm just saying I haven't really got a lot of shows in Kansas and Missouri this year just due to my busy schedule and not being able to reach out to people and trying to figure it out. I'm looking for shows. Obviously, I can't really say that I'm looking for a whole bunch of shows, so everybody please don't bombard me. I do appreciate you, and I'm doing what I can do. Sorry. I don't know what else to say. I'm doing what I can do.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you're looking specifically for shows, again, the little ticker that's going across the bottom right now that says your top 10 scores and the store and the judges list, if you go to BassWars.org, there's an events tab on there as well. Click on that. That's going to show you every single event that I will. Well, actually, I'm going to take a minute right now and announce all of them for this weekend. We got the Knoxville Dragway, the Excess Power Show coming up. Slammin' and Jammin' at Ballard out in Marion, Indiana this weekend. 712 Boom that Jimmy and Sonia run. That's in Iowa. That is probably the biggest, definitely the biggest show in the upper Midwest for us, that is going to be the biggest one for us this year.
This year, unfortunately, that is the biggest Midwest show this year.
Yeah, that is definitely.
Now that Slamology, we are the biggest. That will be the biggest show of this year in the Midwest.
Speaking of Midwest,
Yeah, they will be.
I would like.
Spencer's Annual in the Macoupin County Fairgrounds. That is in New Berlin in the center of Illinois. And then I've got a show that I'm going to brag about for a second, only because I'm driving 533 miles to a show one way. And that is Basin the Bakken up in Killdeer, North Dakota. So we got a lot of shows happening this weekend. We got 6 of them going on. We got about 2 or 3 more next weekend, a couple more the weekend after that. August, we've got at least 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We got about 20 shows happening still in August. And then you come down to September and we got another 20 or 25 shows in September. And right after that, first weekend of October. So 3 months and we got finals already. So
It ain't long.
if you don't have your shows done now, get them in quick because finals is in 3 months. Actually, less than 3 months.
I mean, we're coming up
We're
quick
less
and
than
we're coming
3 days
close.
away right now.
Also, if you guys didn't see last week, this is the first place awards that we're going to have. And I know, nope, that's a sample. Hold on.
That was mine.
That was yeah,
Yours. Give me a break. That one was mine, man. Did you see how small those fingers were?
yeah. Now, people are going to be a little
6 around there, man.
I think I got a 12 size for all of them. So some people are not going to be able to wear them, I think. Because my hands aren't that big and I can wear it. So, but that's, I mean, like it's right size for me. You know?
It's going to be like.
But so here, trying to, yeah, this isn't going to work very well.
There it is. There it is.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's upside
Upside
down.
down, though.
Now, again,
Also, you got it.
Trying to
I
get
can't put a
focused.
name on those. I can't put a class on those or a score because that's individualized. And to individualize a ring like that, it's a pretty penny.
Takes you from what we can afford to $500 a ring, and having to order and wait. And since we were slacking on our awards the last few years, we ain't waiting. So every judge is going to have these on site. Second and third place, probably not, but these will be on site for first place. Now,
but don't let him fool you because he's already working on second and third place now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have that shit done immediately too. It won't
so
be no
here is the little bit of the hiccup. Some of your shows will be over before you'll know who won. So you guys will be halfway home, and we'll still be going on with finals in some other locations, like Africa. South Africa will be. I think they will be. Actually, they may be earlier than everybody else.
I think they're a day before us. Actually, ain't they?
They're earlier than we are, Billy. It's about 2 a.m. there right now.
I think they will so they'll be finished. They'll probably run. They run into the night, like 12, 1 o'clock at night. They run shows till late. So they'll probably do that for finals too. So, but even that's like 6, 7 o'clock our time. So, but point is still, let's say on the West Coast, they are 3 hours behind the East Coast. So say, whatever time Greg ends, well, it ain't over till Richard ends, 3 hours across the country. Jimmy and them's right in the middle. But so if you're closed up and you don't get it, well, then you can just contact your judge. But the judges are gonna have a few rings each. Like we'll look through the top 10s of who we think's gonna win, and we'll send enough to the judges to cover what we think's gonna happen, and then they send the rest back to me that they don't use.
Mm-hmm.
I'll store them up for next year.
Absolutely. Do we know where locations are for finals yet? Not 100%. I'm pretty close to having a location set. We have to sit back, and me and Billy and Dan and all the other judges, we're all going to have to sit back and kind of talk a little bit. And Billy's got ideas of who he wants to have shows and where they're going to be at. So we're not going to have as many shows as we did last year as far as finals. So there is going to be some people that unfortunately, you guys are going to have to drive. And Billy
Well,
doesn't want to
yeah.
do that, but unfortunately, it got to be where there was too many shows and too many headaches last year. So it's just going to be easier. We're gonna try to condense them down a little bit. Not
Well,
crazy, like we're
yeah.
not going to make somebody from Louisiana drive up here.
Problem is,
But
yeah, problem is the software will only take a certain amount of streams. And so that's one problem. And then two, the bandwidth that it takes to stream and stream well is another problem. So,
Yep.
it's just hard to, and then let me tell you guys something else that I'm trying to figure out. We're probably going to go to a live spreadsheet for the scores this year, because kind of like what we did at Slamology for those judges that come there. But the reason is, all right, so like the way we did it is I had my term lab open here. The judges would send me scores by a Facebook message group usually, and then I would input them and I would display from that computer the scores. So you guys saw it. So there was two problems with that. One is, if we're showing people doing stuff, you guys aren't seeing the scores. And so that kind of sucks for y'all that won't see the scores. And two, when you're inputting the scores, and quite frankly, I was inputting scores all day, that stops the term lab from scrolling the scores. So you would sit there and you would just be looking at nothing but stuff. You're like, is it ever going to move? Well, not as long as I'm typing in some scores. So
right.
for that reason, we'll go to a spreadsheet. But I'm going to tell you, the problem I foresee with that is refreshing your phones or your computers. If you guys know about caching, I just don't know if we're going to have to try it that way, because the other way don't work from what I just told you. But so like you might pull a thing down to make it do whatever, and you're like, oh, there's nothing new, but it really might be there, and you just don't know. So something we got to work out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's still an ongoing process, and we're always growing and we're always learning. And that's one thing I love about this organization and Billy. Billy's always up for new things and up for trying things, and it doesn't have to be just this one way and it's set in stone and we'll never ever make any changes. I think that's what kind of sets us apart from all the other organizations. And I'm not talking shit on them because I love them, but that's the difference between us and them. We're trying to keep shit, pardon my language, we're trying to keep stuff advanced and trying to keep it up and up and trying to follow the trend and to go with all the new stuff that you guys are figuring out and loving, where some of the other organizations kind of might be just, this is how we do it, like it or don't like it.
Yeah, end of story. We don't want to be like that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I mean, like I said, Billy's amazing by that part, because he definitely helps go through all that stuff, and he likes the new trend. I think Billy likes figuring out the new stuff. I think he actually likes to sit back and it gets his little brain going. I don't mean it gets his little brain going. Yeah. But I mean, I think he likes the challenge from it, of somebody saying you can't do that, because trust me, it can be done. Billy's gonna figure it out.
I don't know if you probably can't, but so this right here is new ideas for BassWars. All new ideas to come.
But I didn't see make Jimmy King in there.
Right? Yeah. It's kind of cool is because I put down new ideas on this little list. And like today, when I went to add to it, I was like, okay, I need to delete some of this stuff. And I went and looked, and all the stuff was accomplished. It wasn't, it was a thought and it's gone. It was there. It was done. It like the class names and stuff. They're there. You guys have them. It was an idea, and it's there. That's kind of cool. I was like, well, I did that.
I can honestly say, I mean, as of everything right now, the only small hiccup or small feedback that I'm hearing is that we don't have a burp class for the Power Wheels field.
Yeah, we got rid of it.
I in my area, I've got like 3 or 4 people that are running the Power Wheels build. So for them to have to play music when that's built for burps, it's kind of like, but that's the only small hiccup that I've heard all year long.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough across the country to keep it. We need that spot in a term lapse. But I tell you what else we need. We need
It's right here.
We need a little frequency tweak for the extremes.
Not going to let you read them, Brett, but
Yeah.
Yes, we are definitely working on it, Brett. Trust me, I've hounded Billy, Dan, all the judges. We've all hounded them, and it's just for we don't like to make a bunch of rules or regulations or whatever, but we have to know the definition. When it comes to something like that, cut and dry. I
And
need to know what you
I'll
consider.
tell you the way we're going to go with it. Already, I can tell you. Let me pull up Dan's list that he's got. I read over it earlier, and
Brett, I got 16. I got 16 little bullet points on here, and these are things that the judges probably see at every show in one way, shape, or form, from different glass in the windshield or side windows to, can we modify the door this way, or does it have to be this way? And can we use a stripper pole? Can we not use a stripper pole? Can we do X, Y, or Z? So what Jimmy and Sonia and I see, and Jordan and Greg and Stacy and all the judges, whatever we see out there, good, bad, or otherwise, I've got a list of the ones that I've seen the most right here in my hand. I sent this one to Billy earlier after I called him about some other stuff here today. And yeah, it's one of those works in progress that it's going to take time, but we're going to get something.
yeah,
And
I hope
Billy's
to have
been
it.
working on a couple different ideas on how to implement it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I hope to have it by the time finals is over, so we start the new year with it. But it will go something like this. Like, let's just I'm going to generalize some things, but let's say you got a plexi windshield. Okay, maybe that's 10 points. Let's say you got a wood dash. Okay, maybe that's 10 points. Say you got a raised floorboard. Maybe that's 10 points. And these points will change. And then let's say maybe you have a lowered roof. That's 10 points. Let's say you got a steel door. That's 15 points. So we'll look at all this and we'll come up with a number that says, okay, if you got 70 points, let's say you're extreme. So that means if you have one windshield, you may not be extreme. If you got one side glass, you may not be extreme, right? But you may. So we'll have to put a number on each one of those things. So, but that's what it'll be like. Because I can tell you, we've got one guy that's got he's got a built windshield. He's got stock interior, built windshield, completely stock interior. I don't call that extreme. Just got one thing done.
Here you go. Use mine for example.
Mm-hmm.
I have stock interior, but I have a steel cage that's built all the way to my front window up front.
Yeah,
wood is covering that. But the floorboard, the dash, the window, the doors, everything is completely stock.
No, you're gonna be replacing your doors, so it's not extreme.
See, and that's why I actually like that he did it the way he's doing it. Trust me, because we've all been chit chatting, and it's not just one person picking at it. We've all been kind of chit chatting and going over these. I like how he's using the point system because, say for instance, I personally might think that that's an extreme build out there. Billy might not think it's an extreme build. Dan might think that it is, and so on and so on and so on and so on down the road with all of our judges. This way, it takes out the guessing. There is no, it takes out my personal preference. Do I think it doesn't matter. Does it follow this? Does it do this? Does it do this? Does it do this? This and this. And if it does, if you hit these 7 parameters, you're an extreme. It doesn't matter what any judge or anybody else thinks.
So
that's why I love this idea, and I stand behind it as well.
And let's say a stripper pole. Well, that might be 3 points. So we got to come up with all of the things that will be in that. That's what we need. We need a list of all the potential things that could be in an extreme vehicle, so that we can assign them a number.
Brandon puts his extreme car back to stock interior. Well, and that right there is going to be the one iffy subject, and that happens with any organization. And I'm
Yep.
not just going to say mine, but that or with BassWars, but that happens with any organization. You always have that one or two persons that's out there cheating. And what I mean by that is I've seen people do some phenomenal things with their vehicle, and they swear up and down it's stock. Well, that person that swears up and down that it's stock is actually a body man and can hide things that 90% of us would never ever think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who the hell I'm talking about, Dano. But still, there's quite a few people out there that get away with things that normal people couldn't get away with. So there's
always going to be that one or two people.
Cheat at a time.
Yeah.
But we can't tear apart. I can't tear apart somebody's vehicle just to find out if it's a stock or if he's actually hiding something behind there. So I mean, within reason. I mean, I know there's going to be some. There might be a small portion of people that are able to squeak by with a couple things that we don't see, but that's where Billy has all the others that will be caught with that, with a roof or with a strip pole and so on and so on and so on. So,
and I tell you another thing too is, and this is going to sound a little bit harsh, but don't let it offend you too bad. This is not a democracy. So let's just say we write all these rules and we miss something. Well, if it's common sense, we missed it, and we all know that this is where it ought to be. Just because it ain't written in that book doesn't mean we're not going to say no. You right? So that book is not God. That judge is, and so I just want to point that out because a lot of people I hear that it's not in the book. Well, I don't care. It's not really in the book where I need to go pee either, is it? But I'm gonna go do it. You know, it doesn't tell me where to go eat either, but I'm gonna do it.
Where it says code red in the book as a few good men.
Right.
It's that scenario. It is where you go eat. Follow the line.
Here you go with this, Jessica. I mean, say for instance, say you have a concrete or a wood roof. That's only going to give you 1 or 2 points. What's the rest of your build? If you've done that to the rest of your build, then yes, you are an extreme build, and you rightfully should be put in an extreme class. And it's not fair to all the other competitors because you're trying to sneak by with that. And I don't mean you for an example, but if you are squeezing by with a solid concrete roof, you know it as well as I do. The rest of your vehicle is concrete. And everything in that vehicle is full extreme, and you shouldn't be running running regular classes to begin with.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that, Bobby. I talked to Kip a while back. He's really, really busy. So maybe one day we'll get him to come back on and chit chat. That man has knowledge that none of us will ever know. He forgets more than we'll ever learn. I will say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's an amazing guy. He really is just to sit and chit chat with sometimes. But I mean, it's when it comes to that though, that's why it's actually got to he set up the 7 or 10 or 15 or however many points that he's put it up is that way if some fair chance that you sneak by with 1 point, the other 5 or 6 points are going to throw you up underneath the bus and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and just because you have a Lexan windshield doesn't mean you're extreme, like I said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because you have a stripper pole don't mean that you ought to be extreme. Just because you got a wood seat don't necessarily mean it, I mean, because let's face it, most of the guys that we know that have those things don't pressure worth a crap anyway.
But they're proud of it being a full extreme build, and they'll tell you right off the bat, hey,
they do it all together. It's a different story, yeah.
100%, yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Brett. But unfortunately, we do have them 1 or 2 people that want to cheat and win their ways. We only got like 1 or 2 at BassWars. That's it. Just 1 or 2. But there's always out there. There's always somebody that wants to push that button or push that extreme. Or I remember the first year that I started doing it. We had that one person that wanted to push something, so Billy had to go next year and make a rule over it. I mean, it happens. No one's perfect.
That's how an org's rule book gets so little, and so big.
It's always going to happen too. Is the other thing about it too, and along with that, Brett, is there's a couple orgs out there that don't allow you an XYZ vehicle in your small class. I can't run I got to pick on the CRX because that's the big one out there. I can't run a CRX in some of the small classes out there and a couple other formats. I don't care if you got a CRX in BassWars. I don't care if you have a little Fiat or a little Volkswagen Golf in the small classes, be it Stealth or Bandit. But another org, if I got one of those, I've got to return it to, again, the Civic or the CRX. I can't run it in the small class, but I have to run it in a class bigger than 10K. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. If I'm willing to purchase a vehicle, well, why can't I run it? Well, we're not like that. That's why we're going to give you certain rules or guides or a little leniency in everything. Until we see it, we can't really tell you about it. Until we see that list, we can't make it yes or no. We can't give you that definitive answer. There is no gray area on it, but it will be either yes or no once I see it, once Jimmy sees it, once you see it in the line and you point out something that I may have missed. Oh, sorry here, Joe, you got to go into extreme because I missed this. I'm sorry. And that's just the way that it has to be. We've got the list all of a sudden. You're over the list.
It's no different than why Billy had to do that extreme or the frequency hurt. Because we had the very first or second year, I had a bunch of competitors down here. I'm not mentioning any names, Nick Brewer, not mentioning any names, Dan O'Brien, but people that would come and they would run above 50, 55, 57, 58, 65 hertz. And they were killing the classes. And there was nobody that was going to touch them in them classes. So it got to be where it wasn't fun for everybody else because them people were demolishing the classes. Mm-hmm. And that's why Billy had to listen to what everybody was complaining about, and he went and made pro classes for them people. Yeah. He didn't do like everybody else or every other organization and be like, you guys have got to go because everybody's bitching about you. You guys have got to go. And I'm sorry to say this, but there's quite a few organizations that when they hear that turmoil or they hear that feedback, they're just like, you guys go. You guys go. They just push their people out. And that's why I love BassWars is because Billy's not gonna turn away from you. Mm-hmm. He might say, "Okay, you guys, it's not fair for you guys to run in the amateur classes.
We created
classes. Let's set up pro classes for you guys, and this is for you. I'm listening to what you want, and I'm listening to what everybody else wants as well. But to keep it fair, this is what we got to do, and that's why I like to say that." Billy's always got open ears and he's always listening to everything we say.
That's why
he doesn't necessarily act on everything we say, but Billy listens and he really honestly listens, and that matters.
That is the one thing about us is the democracy.
Yeah, a lot of orgs
will have 90 people in it. We're not going to have everyone, but
a lot of orgs will have a consumer and a pro, right? Well, ours is a little different. We don't call this consumer, but this, if you're playing 60, 70, 80 hertz, you're not really listening to music with your subs. You're just trying for the meter. And if a person forgoes music and forgoes all that, then they solely focus on the meter, any one of you, if you solely focus on the meter, you're going to play higher than 53 hertz and you're going to be louder than everybody else, right? And that is what my definition is of a pro competitor. So, and everybody else now in these, now Jamie might be a good example. He plays a wide range, but he's playing in lower frequencies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And you might think Jamie's a pro. He would be he's knowledgeable and stuff like that. But you guys can still play with Jamie and because of that low frequency. But you cannot play with Carlos Rodriguez. You cannot play with RP.
No,
so,
it's unfair for us. It's unfair for us to even make you guys have to compete in the same classes.
Yeah, you mentioned Hank.
It's not fun.
Yeah, what's Hank's last name? Hank Beach. Yeah,
Beach.
So if Hank decides he wants something to be loud, it's over. You just hope you don't put
or RP as well.
Right?
I mean, I've seen Hank and RP just like, and I'm not.
Yeah.
They're amazing
So,
at what they can do
but
when you
what I'm
put them
saying is
together.
those guys are pros. They go
Yeah,
for the meat.
between the two of them, they've got a mind meld together between the two of them that they put their mind to making an orange tape measure 18 feet. They can
Yeah.
make it 18 feet. Everyone else
So,
can make it 15, but they'll be able to do it.
RP's got a lot of knowledge. Him and Hank, they've done a lot. RP himself told me, he said, it's Hank. He said, it's Hank, it's Hank, it's Hank. I
Yeah.
guess Hank goes
He's a
back there and plays.
mastermind. A
I
lot of
don't
people
know.
don't understand that. A lot of
But
people think
that's
it's
straight out
RP.
of RP's mouth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Hank was-
RP's got some knowledge now.
Oh,
I
100.
listened to him the whole time we were in South Africa. He knows some stuff, and the people did it, and it worked. And you look at their scores in South Africa; they are not what they were before he went down there. Right? They're much louder.
Most of them are a lot louder right now. I've got a screenshot of some of those scores from about 4 months ago. And when you were down there between, I want to say like Thanksgiving and Christmas, was it, Billy, that you were there about 6-8 months ago?
Yeah.
I've got a couple of score sheets from the first couple of shows that we had after finals. People are 140, 142, 143. All of a sudden, those people are 147, 148. People were doing 160. All of a sudden, they're 165.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some knowledge that was dumped in South Africa when you two were there, and I'm happy to see it. To be perfectly honest, I want to see louder scores. I just want it to be us doing the louder scores, not someone else.
It's no different than
it's all base scores, so it is the same.
2019, I was running against Hank Veach and USAC.
Yeah,
he was probably 7 to 8 dB louder than me.
Yeah.
He was in first place. I was in second place, and I was really frustrated. And I was at the point where I wasn't even going to go to finals because I knew that there was no chance of me beating Hank. He took time out of his busy day and messaged me and started talking to me. He was like, "Look, Jimmy, shit could happen. Equipment could break. Things could break. This could happen. This could happen. This could happen." And then before I knew it, he was telling me, "Okay, we'll do this, do this, do this." And I mean, he was actually trying to help me get louder, knowing that I was his company. And it was amazing to see that knowledge and him willing. I'm telling you, when it comes to Hank, the best thing you could do is shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Because he's frustrated when he tries to teach and tries to tell somebody something and they don't listen, and he'll quit. But
I would quit too. Yeah.
I promise you, listen to what that man has to say. He's a smart guy, very, very smart.
RP, you don't see him on really any podcast, so he just don't like doing them. Well, I assure you, if he was willing to go on to this one or any other one, I don't think he would, beyond the shadow of a doubt, try to share knowledge and try to educate everybody. I think they just genuinely want some competition.
They do, and you're 100% right. And he was right.
What's the guy from like Brazil or something? What's his?
That's Alan Dante.
Yeah. Okay, so they've got him. They got Carlos. I don't know anybody else. I know there's 82s, 83s. He's 82, 83. It's a big difference in 85, 86, 87,
Greg Corbin's,
84, 83, I think.
Those three people.
You're bad, Dano. You're lagging.
Or Alan that's doing 185. You're loud. They don't have the competition yet to where there's 10 or 12 people. There's maybe 20, 25 people in the world that have done 180, and those three for sure that have done 185.
Yeah.
So to get more of that competition, you bring up the old adage of nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. Well, to get that crowd, you need more competition. So nothing attracts more competition, a la Jimmy and Hank, more competition. If you can instill that in your second or third place people, you're going to get
Yeah.
it. And
They
hopefully
don't
soon.
realize it, but a lot of people with just the demo builds that don't really compete, they're building steel in order to keep their vehicles together. When
Yeah.
one of them step over to a meter, they're going to be surprised at the SPL they do and how competitive they are. And so that group that doesn't really meter much, once they get back to having a little taste of that, they may be making the scene big again. Because I think a lot of them don't even know.
Yeah.
They're probably mid 70s now. They not know 85 and 86 like Carlos. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But they would probably dominate a lot of the classes, and they just don't even. They probably don't even think they can because they're playing 20 hertz.
Yeah, definitely.
We
I will be right
got a
back.
class for that, though.
Be right back. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
We got a class for that, though, Billy, at 20. You know, we can do Typhoon or Hurricane for them.
And I tell you something else we're going to do. So Greg has made us a mobile meter. So we got a meter on a cart for a sundown show. We're gonna go to them and see if they want to, if they want to do it. We'll sign them up, and if they want to come, because a lot of them can't, because it's kind of hard for them to get out of the parking spot.
True. We do have our fair share of trailer queens that show up, and all they do is demo. They don't necessarily always get into the lower frequency vehicles or the lower 160s, even upper 160s or something. Yeah. Not because they're scared or the vehicle won't make a 100-yard run or anything, but they don't know what they can do. They like, as some people would say, they like to sit there and demo. And I'm perfectly okay with that. That's a nice thing to be able to do. It's great to be able to get the spectators that are wondering what we're all about to come over and take a listen to this vehicle right here or that vehicle over there. And if you can do that and you can get them to compete with their couple of 10s or a couple of 12s or whatever in these small bandit and stealth classes, that's going to just feed the base mouth on them, and they're going to want to be able to eat more and more and more. And finally, maybe they'll do a score like I can do, or get up one more notch to what Jimmy can do, or get up to whatever someone else can do, whether it's 20 years from now and they get up to RP and Allen range. When
I'm only doing a 55. Don't include
me. Well, you're louder than I am, Billy. That's we're not going to comment anymore about that, because I think the last time we went head to head, I think you were about 6 dB higher than me in a no wall class. So, or in a some type of advanced everything class. But yeah, it's one of those things where, when you're demoing, it's fun. It's great to see the hair tricks. It's great to see people's ears just all of a sudden flap out and do whatever, or have them tap out. But if we can do that, we can make them into competitors, because we can say, hey, start out with a simple pair of 10s and a 5K amp or something else for $1,000. Now,
but I don't know.
In our sport, but we can get you there.
Maybe it's just me, but I can honestly say I've gotten to be where, I don't know, over probably the last couple of years, I've really taken enjoyment of seeing how loud you can get with how low you can play. And yeah, right there, I know you're ripping and breaking and tearing up a lot more shit by doing that. But how loud can you get at 20 hertz?
Yeah.
How loud can you get below 20? How loud can you get below 20? I can tell you right now, my build, and I'm not bragging, but my build right now, I can play from 14 and above. I mean, from 14 all the way up to 73 hertz. No problem at all. I might not be as loud at 14 as I am at 73, but I can play all of the frequencies.
Yeah. And
I can play 120 at 19.
And I wanted to talk to Billy. Maybe we ought to think about, and I don't know, maybe this is just something for down the pipeline, but I'm going to throw this out there. a class that you have to run 4 different frequencies at. You have to run a 19 hertz. You have to run a 21 hertz. You have to run a
You
30
remember
hertz, and you have to do a 70 hertz.
Yeah, we tried one. Steve Barber sent us some music to use. It
Yeah.
was three frequencies, but he sent it, and it just didn't take off.
But that's because you were limited people to the music that you were. There is a lot of people out there that is like me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't play no music but Chris Russ's music. If it's not from DJ Rusticles, I don't play it. And that's and that's me, and that's my that's who I am. But there's a lot of people that will stay with their DJ dirty bass. There's 15,000 different people out there that will play everything. I play 69 to 69. Yeah, we know that, Walt.
We know Wally. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you could open it up a little bit more, where it's not so you have to play this song, and this song, because even like.
Well, it was just tones. It had something laced over the top of it, like some kind of high end, but it was just tones, and I don't know who.
I don't want to see tones. I want to see music. I want to see musical runs at 14 hertz.
People ain't playing DJ Rascal's rebase stuff and playing music. They're playing tones, right?
That's not true.
What he does. He takes the bass line out and puts a tone on it.
I mean, I play music.
Rebasing is.
I play music, but it's not a tone.
I'm gonna play Queen and AC/DC, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna play ZZ Top and Skinner all day long if I can do that.
Yeah,
but
it ain't gotta be rebased.
I'm gonna play DJ. I'm gonna play Skinner. I'm gonna play all of them, but they're gonna be by DJ Rusticles. It's rebased to make the song better.
Yeah. See, Real Man Jimmy, we don't have to have rebased music. If we got a big system, you don't need rebased music.
I played for 7.5 hours straight with my system on our first here in Kansas City. They do like local car shows and local gatherings, and once a month they do a thing called First Fridays. I went to a First Friday show. It's once a month at the beginning of every month. It's called First Friday. I went to that First Friday show and I played for 6.5 hours straight, and never turned my system off. My shit was hot, but never a problem. But in the same sense, I played YouTube music all day long. No rebased music, but it was just music all day long.
Bad, man.
Yeah, it's clipped out the fuck as well too, but still.
Yeah. Well, I'm joking. I don't know what I like
regular music. Don't get me wrong, I really do.
I like it better for sure, but I'm sure I'll play some rebase stuff too.
But I was going to say, you don't build huge systems like I do just to play regular music.
Well, I disagree.
I mean, I do. I listen to it. Don't get me wrong. I'll roll down the road and listen to Def Leppard, to Lynyrd Skynyrd, to all that stuff, because I enjoy it from rap to rock to country to anything. But 90% of them, no EPMD. EPMD sucks. Tim Jones, if you're listening, it sucks.
No. I assure you, I will absolutely be playing music that people like to dance to. Fun stuff, good stuff. A lot of George Strait and a lot of Waylon Jennings. That's what's going to be getting demoed out of my views. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But
no, I mean I'm not really. I like to play everything. I mean, seriously, everything from rap to rock to country. I pick the crowd out. Like if I go to a hood show where there's just nothing but a bunch of hood people, I play hood music. If I go to a proper show where there's nothing but a bunch of yuppies, I play yuppie music.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on where you're at or who you're playing for. And knowing your surroundings and knowing your people. That's what
here's a thing that what most people don't get. And this is why people are always buying Recons. You can turn that music up. You can turn it up. All right, man. It's loud. It's beating the block off. The hat come off.
I play Baby Shark too.
Right? But and you can do that with regular music even.
Yeah.
But then you put rebase music and you turn it up still, and you be buying Recons.
Yeah.
So I guess my point is, with the big systems nowadays, they can get enough if they wanted to with regular music. They can get enough if they want to with rebased. But they just got to go those extra clicks that can't nobody take anyway and spend all their time at the shows doing
Yeah.
recon. But that keeps Dan Horner in business, right?
Happens
That
a
keeps,
lot,
that
absolutely.
keeps Roy Otis in business, right?
But it's funny that you say that, Craft Chest. I was actually it's 2 years ago that I was in the St. Patty's Day parade down here where we're at. And it was the Midwest Tahoe Club, and we're all rolling down the street, doing the huge St. Patty's Day parade. And I got speakers inside and outside of mine. I'm playing Baby Shark the whole parade. And they literally panned over, and Fox 4 News did a big, huge thingy of my vehicle rolling down the street playing Baby Shark. And the broadcast lady was back there talking about how her kid loved Baby Shark and she was not going to be able to hear the end of it. And I mean, it was just kind of funny because of that stupid song that they actually put me on the news and played it going down. But it's just, if I would have been playing,
anything else,
I wouldn't have got any of the publication or the promotion that I got off of that one little silly song. True. But it's knowing where you're at.
Yeah.
And knowing who you're around to what to play. Don't go to a Christian group and play a bunch of kiss my butt, F you, F this. All you're gonna do is piss the people off. But don't go to a hood show and play a bunch of Christian music because all you're gonna do is piss them off. It's knowing your environment and knowing the people around you that makes everything so much better. And even when it comes to the stupid stunt walls, as much as I hate them, if the stunt walls would play stuff that everybody enjoys instead of EPM music all day long, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
You can scream that shit all day long that you wanted to, but if you're at a country place, you better be playing George Strait screaming all day long. If you're at a rock place, you better be playing Metallica all day long. Know your environment and know what you're playing for the crowd. That helps this sport out more than you'll ever realize.
Yeah, that's it is a legitimate radio DJ for whoever your target audience is. If you can sneak in one or two classics, that's great. Whether it be a classic country song or country music or country jazz or whatever. But you gotta be able to fill it in with everything. And once in a while you gotta throw in Baby Shark, or you gotta throw in you got to throw in something fun. You got to throw in something for the kids because the kids love it. And whether that's the chicken dance or the hokey pokey or something else, okay, throw it in once in a while. And then go back to your George Strait, your Travis Tritt. If it's classic country, then get back into your Waylon and your Loretta and your Johnny Cash, etc. Get into whoever it is and make sure that it's maybe not just and I'm a big fan of Russ as well, just as you are, Jimmy. It might be a different version of the same song, but it might be from another DJ out there. It might be from Dirty Bass or Siren or whoever. It might not necessarily be one from Rusticals, but as long as it's a good mix, play it.
Well, that's no different. I love DJ Rusticals to death, and I'll play his music all day long. But I know if I'm sitting in a church group, that I'm not going to let his intro play.
Right.
Oh no,
DJ Rusticals. I keep the offensive part of it out, even though I know it's him and I love him to death. But I still know what is in it. Know your music. That's the best way for me to say it. Know your music. Know your music. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, seriously.
Baby Shark for the kids, yes. Yep.
It's just when it comes right down to it, and that's what makes the shows better. You're always going to have
your audience
in the background that hates what you're playing and hates everything and hates life in general, but you're never going to make that person happy regardless.
Yeah.
Even if you play her favorite song,
I can't even say that it's knowing the audience entirely. It's knowing your audience. It's knowing the environment near where you are at. If you're in an industrial part of town and there's nothing happening near you for 4 or 5 blocks, play whatever. If you've got a church that's 2 blocks away.
That song. Sorry.
I'll tell you one that's you guys can all Google and find. There's one called.
I want to see the Itsy Bitsy Spider. What?
Remember Boom Tube? It's all the
Boom Tube. Yes.
Spider-Man,
the old stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
DJ Magic Mike.
Yeah.
There you go.
Still to
Real
this
fine
day,
bass.
playing stuff. I follow DJ Magic Mike on Facebook, and he still does live shows.
Wow.
Still to this day does live shows, and it's amazing because
Dang.
to me, he's still like one of the all-time first guys that started mixing stuff and started doing that stuff. And I know he's not but he was the first guy in my era that started putting bass and re-bass music out.
Yep.
And that was amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely bass.
Back in the early 90s, Mike was the guy. Or
DJ Magic Mike dropped the bass. Drop the bass. Or Nemesis. Remember Nemesis? That was my all-time favorite song.
But you know, it wasn't very long after that. Even people like Madonna. Remember that album, Vogue, was it called?
Vogue, yeah.
Absolutely.
That same thing.
Yes, you're right. Well, even remember Prince when he came out with the album number 7. That song hit so hard. I mean, it had such a crazy background.
Right.
It was 07 and then boom. I mean,
frequency that was. I bet it's in the 40s.
For your bass, yep. Oh, Techmaster PD.
For your bass, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that damn thing. DJ Magic Mike was, I don't know, but still.
I remember reading about this stuff in the history books. I don't really remember.
Yeah, whatever. Billy told me about
there were a lot of songs in the early 90s that, they sounded good on your stock stereo as well, that you thought had some bass. And I can't say the names of the songs, but I can say the artists at least. Because you got K7, and of course you got the Luke Skywalker 2 Live Crew. Some of their songs sounded great on your stock system, or even if you had a 10.
Why can't you say the group?
They didn't necessarily really have a lot of the low end on it. They didn't have anything lower than 40 hertz.
Because they didn't care. All they heard that was that. It was on factory systems, and they knew it.
All they had. They had a bass track that everybody used, and they either sped it up a little bit to raise the frequency, or they slowed it down a little bit to lower that frequency, and it was the same beat for 50 songs in the early 90s.
Find me this weekend. I'm going to be playing DJ Magic Mike Munchies for Your Bass all weekend long. Watch. I'm lying, but I will play some of it. I promise you.
Yeah.
If my Mazda could handle it, I'd take it up there. But yeah, I can't play that song. There's not enough bass in the Mazda.
Well, listen, I have another podcast to be on in 10 minutes. So I'm going to set you guys up on the twofer.
What podcast are you going to so we can let everybody know?
Yeah, it's an ancient Chinese secret. I will tell you, though, there is a 2-hour time difference. There you go. There's your hint.
All right, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm going to set you guys up.
Is Richard running right now all of a sudden is what I'm wondering.
Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't get Richard to do. I tried to get him on, man.
We got to get him on for some SQ stuff at some point because
but now Kraft, who we're chatting with, we're trying to get him to come on with us. I think he will.
Yeah, I think he can talk SQ circles around all of us.
Yeah, I think he's good. He's got a channel. He showed it to me.
Don't let Billy fool you. Back in the day when me and him were live, hot and heavy, we used to have 70 plus people watching us every Monday night.
It's like
we had our shit up there.
4 or 5 years, man. You realize it's been that long?
Almost
4 or 5 years.
Almost 6, Billy.
Yeah, right, man. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let me hook y'all up with this, and I will see everybody probably next week, or maybe weekend.
I'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, right. I hope so. All right.
Catch you later, Billy.
From this thing, I'm gonna be late.
All right, bye. Oh, but yeah, I mean, it's just really amazing. We appreciate everything.
Vogue was a great song back then too, man. God,
what was
Vogue from Madonna?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a layout here that will actually show me.
Well, that one almost works.
Hold on, I'm hooking you up.
Oh, you're hooking us up. Sorry.
And I'll do it at one time. I got you. Yeah, hang on.
Sorry. Yeah, but no, I mean it's just pretty amazing to see where we've come over the years with music and just technology and in general, and it's still amazing.
Talking to you there, you hunyuck.
What?
Kraft is talking about you there, you hunyuck.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I promise you. I think me and you are actually going to go through here and have some fun with this. Billy, bless his heart, doesn't really want to be in here, and he doesn't want to do these podcasts. He will be if he has to be, but he just doesn't want to be. So, like Billy had said, and I'm sure he's going to say something to everybody else. We're going to stop with this Monday night is Billy's, this Monday night is Dan's, this Monday night is Brett's, this Monday night is this person, this Monday night is this person. Monday night, BassWars is live. Everybody, all judges, anybody. We want everybody to start coming in here, and we want to make it where it's more open to everybody. I mean, granted,
come on in and give us your 2 cents worth, judges, because we'll take it. Because I don't necessarily hear the comments or concerns, criticisms, questions from Jimmy's area unless I see his people down there. I certainly don't see anything from. Okay, I'm going to pick on Russell and Troy, our 2 newest judges, northwest corner of Wisconsin, Duluth Superior area for Troy, and Russell down in the. I got to assume he's down in Daytona or Miami because he's a 305 area code, and I know that's the south corner of.
I think it's Miami, Florida. But don't quote me on that. I apologize.
So if I don't see or hear criticisms, mainly, that's what I want to hear is what can we do better. But if I don't hear the comments or the concerns about something, I don't necessarily know about them. So, if all of a sudden someone tells me, hey, I heard this about Brandon. I heard this about Richard. I heard this about Jordan. I heard this about you. I don't hear them. I can't address them with knowledge, number one. And number two, if I can address them with knowledge, I can't give them to Jimmy and Billy and find out what the decision needs to be for something. So please, at the end of the shows, tell me what you like, what you don't like. Tell me if you think we could speed it up more, if we need to take it slower, if we need to change something, if you don't like the classes, if you don't like the songs that people are using in it. Well, we do kind of have the rule or guideline at least that says, please try and make it family friendly, which I try and do. I don't mind.
I'll be honest with you. I don't
want to hear swearing for 6 straight hours.
I don't honestly really enforce that rule much, as long as we're not, for say, sitting in a church parking lot or sitting around a church playground. If we're sitting next to a playground, you shouldn't be that disrespectful that you want to play that type of music to begin with. So I mean, just have a little bit of common sense behind what you play and where you play it. And that's it in a nutshell. Without calling out anybody or saying anything to anybody, just have a little bit of common sense about what you're playing, where you're playing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same thing every song. It doesn't have to be the same. If someone's song comes up and it accidentally scores a 41 in the Cyclone, which goes up to 39, find me something else. It might just in here, something else.
Everybody in here, make sure you go check him out on his page. Make sure you show him some love and show out craft. Show him how lucrative BassWars is and how big we actually are. And and I like to say this, and I say it proudly: we are nationwide, and I mean that nationwide, worldwide. Okay, yeah, worldwide. Yeah, there you go. That's even better. Worldwide.
Because I'm going to throw Pumic and Sujin right on that top of the list as well. Because we
have Trinidad, we have South Africa. I mean, we just have everybody. It's amazing, and we're only going to keep growing little by. Hopefully, not as tremendous over the next couple of years, but little by little, we're going to keep growing and always keep growing.
We're going to keep the quality, grow a little in quantity, grow a little more in quality, which then makes us grow in quantity, which makes us grow in quality, because we're hearing each other's ideas, and we're eliminating some of our own missteps, misfortunes, whatever. We're changing. And the good thing about it, like I was talking about here, maybe a month, 2 months ago or something. The old spreadsheets that are out there, especially the last 3 years, we went from like 4,000 competitor names being on the spreadsheet to 5,000 to like 66 or 6,800 last year. I don't know what it's at right now this year. I do not have access. I don't want access to edit anything. I'd like to see it, but I'm not going to be editing anything. It's just too brittle, we'll say, because there is so much more background information that we have on the spreadsheet this year. Billy has it basically with 1 or 2 people that access and edit it. I don't want to be accused of eliminating names starting with A through F all of a sudden someday, where I can't get it back. And all of a sudden, Brett is pissed at me, and Craft Chest is pissed at me, and Andrew, and Travis would be. Dominic would be pissed at me, and I'm just going through the names here on the list.
He's in Mississippi.
I don't want a quarter of the people to be pissed when
Brett
we find stuff. So.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go right ahead.
I believe it's Biloxi, Mississippi, but he's in Mississippi.
Yeah. He is in Biloxi. He's got a good little place down there maybe not lightning strike wise, but we got other stuff there. So
yeah, no.
But again, we grow and we get bigger, we get better, we get louder. I've checked that stuff out as well.
Well, it reminds me of that old saying where it takes a community to raise a child.
Yep.
It takes a community to keep this organization together and to keep this organization running as smoothly as it does. Because, yes, I've said this before, but Billy does honestly listen to everything you guys say. He listens to everything all the judges say. He takes everything very, very personal. Billy has put his pride, his love, everything he has into this organization. And so have all of us judges and everybody else. So don't take that wrong. But if there is a problem, a concern, or maybe even something you might possibly think might be good for next season or to help out the organization, please don't be scared to reach out to Billy. Or hell, reach out to me or reach out to Dan or reach out to any one of your judges.
Any of the judges can help you.
It's not always positive stuff that we want to hear. We want to hear the negativity as well, so we know what we can do to possibly make it better next time. So if say I come to a show and I gave one person a water, but I didn't give that other person a water, and that pissed that other person off, but he doesn't say nothing to me, and I don't know that that upset him, I'm going to continue to do that. So until you bring it to my face and let me know, hey, you should be passing water out for everybody and not just that one person. Because, we all have good intentions, and trust me when I say we all don't do it to intentionally upset somebody or intentionally make somebody pissed off, but we need that feedback. And, a lot of people don't like the feedback because they can't handle the negativity or they can't handle the he said, she said shit. At that point in time, you have to read between the lines and you have to really see his side of the story, and then be that narrator in the middle. But the feedback is still good regardless, positive or negative. The feedback is good. And that's sure.
What I say about that is, if I were to be a witness to something that happened and I'm in front of a judge, I can't definitively say that this is the truth. This is what my vision or my recollection was of said thing. If Jimmy is at the opposite corner and Sonia is at the opposite corner, we're going to see 3 different perspectives of the same thing. 100%. Where's the truth in that? Well, it lies in between all 3 of them. Yep. So bring me the comments, bring me the concerns, bring me your criticisms. I'll listen to all of them. I'll write them down and give them to Billy or give them to Jimmy, or, if I have heard of it before, I'll sit down and tell you why we don't or why we do. And, my biggest one, unfortunately, is what Billy and Jimmy made with the 53 hertz. I don't like it because my car has to compete against the bigger guys, but it works very well because there are not many cars that compete at 61, 62, 63 hertz like my car does. And the nice part about that, because of that, other people have gotten louder. And I've seen them get louder by using ideas that they've either seen in my car or that I've told them to do because, hey, have you moved your seat back? Have you leaned it forward? Have you hugged the steering wheel? Have
Open your glove box.
Open the glove box like Jimmy has seen me do and do a 140 or a 150 or a 160 or whatever the score may have been. And people do that. And they all of a sudden they gain.
You're running a Tahoe, put the meter over behind the steering wheel and sit over the passenger side in reverse rolls. You're going to get louder.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of different things that you can do in each build that will help you.
Yep. I tell people the kick panel.
Was that?
I always tell people kick panel. It's generally louder, and I clarify that it's generally louder.
There is a small margin that stay louder on the window, but also, that's why I always tell everybody, it's like, I personally think you're going to be louder in the kick and do this and do this and do this. So you try your way and then try my way and see which way you're louder. I'm not telling you have to do this, you have to do this, or you have to do this, but here's my suggestions to help you to get you just a little bit louder. And sometimes
here's the thing that I've seen this year as well. I just tell them the kick panel, and they're like, well, which one? Hey, that's the question. Which kick panel? Are you actually louder in the driver or in the passenger? And once in a while, it actually is a little bit louder in the driver, or it might be up a little bit louder. It doesn't say it has to be in the kick panel. It just says in front of the seat. Okay. Well, are we louder in the corner of the glass? Are we in that legal position that's 1 foot in and 4 inches up? Are we on the center, like we have to be in old school? Are we better with a door open or vented, a window open or vented just a little bit? Can we manipulate the doors, the visors, the seat position, the person in the vehicle even makes a difference. You get a big person in there, and I don't mean to make light of it at all, but Chris Russ is a big guy. You put Chris Russ in my little car, it's going to be louder. I'm about 175 pounds, 180 pounds.
I tell everybody, take up the cabin frequency. Take up the cabin frequency.
Significantly louder, and it's going to change. You put me and Jimmy in the same car, we're going to be about the same.
It's funny. I didn't realize that until like 4 years ago, and I know he's probably going to kick my ass for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I had my nitro build, and I was at scraping the cars, and Drew was like, "You're going to get louder if you do this," and he had run that nitro, well, not mine, but his, and I built mine off of his, and he's like, "You'll get louder doing this, 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 and this," and I listened, and he's also like, "You'll get louder if you have a bigger person sit in the cab," and I was like, "Bullshit," and he literally went and the cab of my vehicle and ran it and got it a dB louder than I had ever got it. I was like, what the fuck? So it some 90% of the time, but there's always that 10% where it hurts you. There's a very few far cars that don't like to be touched. They don't like to be anything. Like my nitro, it would hurt it with the nitro. If you pushed on it, if you tried to seal it up, I lost a full dB just from somebody touching it. If you left it the fuck alone, it got louder. Pardon my language, sorry. But if you left it alone, it got louder. There's quite a few vehicles out there that don't like to be touched. And there's
what is the name of that baseball stadium where the old school Negro League played down there in Kansas City.
Oh.
What is that? What is that stadium called?
I don't know. Man, you would call me out on that. I don't know
God, I
the.
can't remember it, but we were there, and Midwest was there, and one of my favorite guys, and I always call him Peg, but Jason Lucas. You know why I call him Peg? I went up to the back of his Honda, and I literally one finger on the corner of the trunk, boom, 400 watts up, and he actually dropped about 0.6, 0.7 dB. So, again, that's my black book right on the window, right in front of me here. That's part of the testing thing. If you know that Drew is going to make you quieter or louder, no Drew, or Drew, happy face, happy face, happy face. Or if we're putting, visor somewhere, or whatever.
Fortunately, I'd like to say, and I'm going to say this, and I know I probably shouldn't, but the internet has made people lazy. The internet has made people lazy by they're listening to what everybody else is doing with their vehicle. Just because I have a Tahoe, I have 815s, and my Tahoe was designed by Drew. Doesn't mean my vehicle is going to do the exact same as your vehicle is. You have to test, and test some more if you want to be a serious competitor. And I mean, all the way down to if it's 50 degrees outside, if it's 100 degrees outside, if you're in this atmosphere, if you're in this barometric pressure, there's so many different variations of actually testing and tuning and figuring out where your vehicle's louder, because there might be one place where you're louder if you play 59 hertz. Well, you might come down here to this state and you're louder if you play 56 hertz at 5 clicks or 2 clicks. Knowing your system, but the only way you're going to know that system is by testing. And that's where I like to say the internet has made people lazy. And the only reason why I say that is because of people listen to what everybody else does. They listen to, Brett has a C-pillar wall and he can do a 64, so I should be able to build a C-pillar in a Tahoe and do a 64 all day long. No.
Not happening.
Even if you have the same exact design as Brett, doesn't mean you're going to do the same. You have the same equipment as he has, and you're still not going to
use the same vehicle, VIN number off by 1, and it's a different color. Not that the color is going to matter in your vehicle, although between white and black, that black vehicle is going to be hotter most likely, or a darker vehicle will be hotter. So it does matter a little bit. But if Brett builds the same vehicle again with the exact same equipment, probably not doing a 164. It might.
It does. It makes a big difference, and that's where I say everybody needs to test.
Not going to be the same.
You have to test. You have to.
It's challenging to make two vehicles the same. I remember early 90s in Car Stereo Review. I don't remember which company, but XYZ took two vehicles and they made a 50 watt amp and a 100 watt amp. And they had 5 of the 50s in one vehicle and they had 5 of the 100s in another. Okay, well, I'm doubling the power. I should be 3 dB louder.
No,
it was like 0.4. And it was all the same. But one of them was a 50 and one was a 100. And again, I don't remember. It was XYZ and 123 for the models on the amps for all intents and purposes, but they were different. And as Kraft just said below that comment right there, it all matters. So double checking all of your distribution to make sure the screws, the bolts that you connect onto are tight. Making sure the fuses are tight, making sure those terminals are crimped properly, making sure those ferrules are in the right style of connection point, whether it's round or square. Making sure you got a good bond heat shrink connection. That matters.
That's just like me saying the Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
I bought my Dodge Nitro because of Drew and what he did with his Nitro.
Sure.
I loved and I really appreciated what he did with his Nitro. I got the exact same build that Drew did in his Nitro. I put it in my Nitro. I changed a couple different things on it, just a couple different things on it, and I got my Nitro a dB and a half louder than Drew's, just by changing a couple things. So, I mean, that's why I tell you, just because somebody has the exact same build, the exact same vehicle, the exact same everything, doesn't mean that it's going to be the same in every person's aspect of it, or how everybody puts it out there. Exactly. Just one little variation, one little change of the seat, one little change of a headrest, one little click of this amplifier or click on this knob, everything could be so much different. But until you actually sit there and test and test and test, and I'm sorry, but test some more, you're never really going to know what the true beneficial or what truthfully your vehicle is going to do without putting that work in. Don't listen to what somebody says online that you should be doing 53 hertz at 20 seconds and this and this and this. Do it for yourself. Get you a notebook. Write this shit down and keep testing. Test it at 53 hertz. Test it at 47 hertz. Test it at 20 hertz and see what the difference is. Okay, well, at 20 hertz, I got a 53, but at 40 hertz, I got a 73. You know, and it's just, you have to test all that. And there's so many different variations and just so much different that you guys could do that I feel like a lot of people are being lazy nowadays. And I'm sorry to say that, but I'm going to just say it. There's so many people nowadays that are lazy, that are listening to what he's doing or she's doing or he's doing or that person's doing. Don't listen to what they're doing. Do it for yourself. Put in the time, put in the extra effort. Even if you have a vehicle built by RP, or if you have a vehicle down here built by me, it doesn't matter who built it, what built it, how it's built, or anything. Put in the time and the work behind it to know what your system truthfully will do.
Test it, yeah. Test it at 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, etc. Test it all the way up to 70 or 80 if you want to. Find out if you should be in this particular class, or maybe you need to be in a different one because you're louder. Maybe you get on a top 10 score list somewhere. Maybe, and I don't want to have to say it like this, but maybe BassWars isn't for you. Maybe you have to go into another org to see what the biggest advantage of your vehicle and your system really is, because we don't play, or we don't have a class built around not necessarily your build, but your style of build.
I would like to disagree on that part, because we don't have any parameters that set you to a certain style.
True.
So, I mean, comes to that aspect, they can play with us. Because
we can play almost everything.
You might not be able to play a Bandit, but you can play over here. So,
yeah. I mean, you can do that. But if you play above 53 hertz or above 60 hertz, my vehicle, maybe the RP and Carlos and Alan who play at 67 on up, or 70 on up, or 80. It's not necessarily our cup of tea, but we allow them to play. And that's where they're maxing out everything at 185 plus. So we might not have a class specifically for you, or one that is in that parameter for you, like a Typhoon, where it's 20 to 29, but we'll find something where
there's one for you right there. Even like Steven Duck. I bet you a lot of people don't realize. Do y'all know that Steven took his stuff home after scraping the coast and ripped it all out? Well, not all. He left the shell, but he ripped everything all out, and he's rebuilding it. He's rebuilding it to get louder and to get windier. And Steven's a madman. He's my teammate on Team Notorious. He's a madman, but Steven loves it. He is addicted to bass, and I don't know how else to say. Steven is addicted to bass.
There are two hand things that go among the mind like this. One is obviously when Jimmy and I were younger. Hey, this guy's crazy. Now it's like, no, this guy's mind is always spinning. It's winding up, trying to come up with the next idea on things. And
well, that's like everybody. A lot of people only remember Steven for the van. But what a lot of people don't understand is they should have seen that truck. Well, he still has the truck, and he takes it a lot of places. Yes, Team Notorious, absolutely, yes, sir.
Yep.
But he has a truck
now.
that's nasty. That truck is just ridiculous, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. He has pretty ass rims, pretty ass doors, pretty ass everything, and he beats the dog shit out of that vehicle. But it's just it's what he does, and he loves to do it.
I was gonna say it's what you can break that is not part of your normal gear that tells you what is in the system and where to change it. It's the super pole mounts, it's the Bondo, it's the fiberglass that cracks after 6 months. You got to go back and not necessarily re-engineer it, but you've at least got to look at it and figure out, okay,
think about it like this.
Why do I have to make this stronger?
Well, think about it like this. Think about my Nitro. And I hate to keep bringing back the Nitro, but we'll go back to the Nitro. The reason why I earned my nickname Send It is because I knew every time that I went to a competition and I fully turned that bitch up, 90% of the time I was going to get first place, but I was also going to send probably one or two of my subwoofers doing that.
Yep.
But I was okay doing that because I knew that's what it took to get me to that point or to get me to that number one spot.
And if you continue to do it,
what's that?
You get a reputation for doing it, and people want to see it. And people wonder, wow, this guy's crazy. He's loud. He keeps doing it, and he's doing it again. And last time I saw him, he did it this way. We got a guy, John Fisher, who's out of Fargo, North Dakota, about 6 years ago, I think, either 18 or 19 before COVID. John is in the left lane against, I think he was against Billy Keeble both times, our old TBO president up here. And John cracked his windshield. And about 2 months later, there it is. John does the same thing in the same song about 2 seconds earlier in the song, but his score was already a little bit louder, so I knew it was going to go, and I just kind of stepped away from it a little bit because I knew it was going to go. And sure enough, about 10 or 12 seconds in at the first show, and about 10 seconds in at the second show, he sent the windshield again. And that's what I remember most about John. It's not what was in his system at the time in his Grand Prix, or Lumina, or Malibu, or whatever it was. But I know exactly what was in it. But I don't remember the car. But I remember him taking that windshield out twice. And that's what you do sometimes, is that's what you get known for. For you, Jimmy, it was sending that 1 or 2 subs, or maybe that amp. It was me doing the windshield at the finals the one year with my fist, after doing it in the smallest class that was offered, 1,000 watts, and I blow a windshield. Well, I didn't really blow up the windshield, I hit the windshield. So big difference.
I did a soft clip. I didn't do a full clip. I would go into a soft clip.
Sure.
But yeah, once I knew I hit that soft clip, 90% of the time this was not going to last. But you also have to remember, I was throwing almost 9,500 to 115. So, I mean, that's a lot of. I was running DB4s, and I was running almost 9,500 to each DB4.
I was going to say you were running over 9,000 on each one. So,
yeah. So,
well, Chris, you know that system. You've seen it more than enough times.
But yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to be helping that guy get that nitro back up and where it used to be. I miss seeing that vehicle out in the lanes, and I'm going to try to help him get it back to where it used to be. So, if you're talking to me, I'm actually in Kansas/Missouri, and Dan is now in Iowa now.
No, I'm still in Sioux Falls. I'm 15
You're
miles.
You're in Iowa.
Don't lump me in with the corn country up there. I don't do that. I got good stuff here. Even though it says Iowa in the guidebook, I have never lived in Iowa. I've been close a couple times, but I have never lived in Iowa. In fact, I can think of 1, 2, maybe 3 times that I've actually spent a night in Iowa. Maybe 4.
Well, it's funny you say that, Kraft. I drove the Nitro to work. I drove the Nitro to every audio competition. I drove the Nitro to Biloxi, Mississippi every year. That was my daily driver, and it had a wall with 415s in it. And yes,
you were a daily 160 plus.
It was full blast everywhere I went, all the time. Everybody's like, I can't believe you would drive down the road doing 160. Yes, I did. You can ask Jeremy Mott. Because, yeah, well, there was one year where Jimmy got a little inebriated. Imagine that. And down at Biloxi, Mississippi, and Jeremy Mott had to drive the Nitro. And we were driving down what was called it was the coast. So we're driving down the coast, and mind you, everybody's driving up and down the coast having a great time and full blast. Jeremy's trying to drive, and I'm beating the shit out of him, and he finally had to tell me to turn it down because he couldn't see. I mean, he's trying to drive it, I'm beating the shit out of him. But I mean, I did, honestly. I drove around like that full tilt all the time. Now, when I drive my Tahoe, it's not as loud as the Nitro used to be, but when I drive the Tahoe, it's still full tilt. My ears will get out that motherfucking Tahoe just like ringing because they hurt because the doors are so loud. But I still full tilt.
I'd do it. There is not a show that I have not been to with a Smurf car, whether it was a BassWars or another org, that did not go almost, if not full tilt. My Pioneer rated was up to 62, so 58 or higher every show on the way there, and from 55 on up, a full 4.2, 4.3 volts on the output and clean as a whistle.
Here's one for you, Kraft. Go on to YouTube and look up World's Loudest Nitro. It will pull it up.
Nitro is a bigger, boxy, Jeep-looking Dodge.
No, it's actually a Jeep Liberty, the exact same vehicle as a Jeep Liberty. 100%. The Jeep Liberty parts would cross-fit onto that.
Okay.
It was damn near ideal. The reason why they
Ford Taurus reissue.
Yeah, the reason why they quit making it was because the Nitro was actually having a lot of CPU problems. They were having a lot of computer problems that they couldn't solve. Yada yada yada. So they quit. I think they only made that Nitro for like 3 or 4 years, and they quit making it. But yeah. I think I got the world's loudest Sonic. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the funny part about it is when I had the Dodge Nitro, I actually reached out to Wrigley's, believe it or not, or whatever the people are. And I actually had them talked into, if I would have paid $500, I could have got them to come to a show and actually make me a plaque for the Nitro being the world's loudest Nitro. But, you know, who's got $500 laying around that they could just say, here, come to a show? So
Here, take these 3 Recones in trade.
It was funny. It was just more bragging rights for me, and I still like to give Drew shit over it. I love Drew to death. He's my guy. He's my go-to guy, and always will be. But my Nitro was louder than his.
Joseph, Braden, what's going on tonight? See you guys in there. And honestly, I think with that, we're almost at.
It was not a Ford, damn it. It was a Chrysler.
What do we have, about a 45-minute intro tonight, Jimmy?
Probably, yeah. Not quite. I always play.
We are at just over 9 o'clock here Central Time. So I guess my question for a lot of you folks, what do you want from us? Good, bad, or otherwise? This is
I don't know. I'd say what you want.
Speak up. Maybe not worse, but, good or bad, we'll take it. Contact any of your local judges. That little ticker that's going across the bottom with BassWars.org. It's got your top 10 scores right away. It's got the BassWars store for your stickers, your t-shirts, your sponsorships. If you got a ton of money just laying around, you want your name on one of our tag plates, we can do that for you. It's also got a judges list on there under the word franchises. So it's going to show you where all your judges are located across the U.S. And
Absolutely.
of course, Pumish and Sujin over in South Africa. Contact them if you've got questions, if you've got comments, concerns. It's got our guidebook on it, or we don't really want to call it a rule book because we don't really have rules, but it's got some guidelines for you.
Yeah.
Tells you all about your classes.
We have over in Trinidad too. We have people over in Trinidad. So I mean, we have people all around. Like he said, make sure there's a map on there, and I believe it's on there. Maybe it's not, but there's a map on there that actually, if you go to your state and click on your state, it's going to show you what judge is local to you, or who is even close to where you guys are at. So just remember that. Yes, Dan. I think Dan said he was going to try to come down Saturday to the show. Right, Dan? He froze.
I will not be there. No, I will be way up north. Chris, I'm going to be way north. I got a 530-mile drive one way to get up to Killdeer, North Dakota. Best way to describe it is I'm going make a little zigzag on everything. I'm going to go up north to Fargo, then I'm going to go across the state to Bismarck, Mandan, then I'm going to keep going a little bit to Dickinson, then I'm going to go up north again. I got 530 miles ahead of me one way.
I will say at 712, just to let you guys know, there is a ring that Chris Mills is bringing for Typhoon class. If you can beat Chris Mills in Typhoon, you will take that ring home with you. Typhoon is a very fun class, but you got to be able to play that low, and you got to be able to be as loud as he is playing that low. If you can beat him on the meter in that class, he's going to gladly give up that ring. But you have to beat him. I know Jamie's gunning for it. I know there's quite a few people that are going to be gunning for that ring. So that actually might be something fun. We'll see. We'll see how that actually. What's that?
Work into that a little bit here because I don't see anyone. Oh, we don't have any members in there. No wonder. I got to see what kind of score we're looking at here, Chris.
I don't think Chris is a member this year. I don't think he actually signed up for a membership.
Well, what the hell, Chris? Come on, man. Get with the program here.
It's partially my fault. A lot of my guys are not wanting to drive, which you guys are buttheads, but I need you guys to actually start driving a little bit more. We'll see. Yeah, if Paul Nacer gets in there, y'all are in trouble. That thing is ridiculous. I don't know what it'll do low, though, to be honest with you.
I will say that there are a few people above Chris. None that I can name. Well, okay, one that I can name. 2 or 3 that I am Facebook friends with, but I can't say that I have ever physically met them in person. But Typhoon Wall, Chris is at a 158.24, and that's good enough for 9th on the top 10 list. So if you if you can do it, you're pretty damn loud.
What's his last number that he put up there?
58.24.
There you go. That was his last number. I think he's a little bit louder. But we'll just say. I will say I love Chris. Chris is my guy, but that's a big one. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because I know Jamie.
Unless you're beating EXO, I don't know, man. Unless you're beating EXO, EXO's at a 163.
Absolutely, yes. We're only doing it for the one class. So we'll see. I
don't have a wall yet, though.
You don't have a what?
I ain't got a wall yet.
Oh. Well, sir, I think we've actually reached that threshold of the night. I don't know. Is there anything else important or anything else prior or essential that you would like to talk about or tell anybody else about this evening?
I will answer the one question on there that Kraft just answered.
This monster.
On the monster list of regular
63, right?
members, non-members, 161. On monster members list, the blue list that comes up right away, we're at a 161 as well. And there's a couple people in there above or approaching 160. Number 2 and number 3 are 0.01 away from each other.
You show
and
more,
Joseph can show more than once in the top 10. Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to enter,
as long as it's in different classes. Yes. But see, here's the big thing, though. Billy is at the point this year where he doesn't want to let everybody run a million classes just to get that first place. So you will have to fit the parameters of that class to run that class.
Yeah.
So just think, if you run in Beast, you can run in this class, and this class if you want to, but as long as you stay in the qualification for that class, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. Honestly, what I'm trying to say is there's some people that will fit in probably 15 different classes. As long as they fit in the class legally, they can be there, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
And Joe, technically, no. Those are going to be spelling errors, or there's going to be a space in a name or a space after a name.
It happens.
And I don't want to pick on Wally too much here because I'm looking at Leech Wall right now, and I'm seeing 3 names taking the top 5 spaces in Leashed Wall. I'm seeing Team Ain't Loud Wally with no spaces, Team Ain't Loud Wally with a space. And then I'm seeing one of our guys from South Africa, Jacques van Boonhuisen, and he is taking, I don't see a space or a spelling issue with his name, but there's got to be an extra space at his name at the end of it that is causing us to see 2 different that same Joe Smith name in the class.
Well, it's like Paul.
Paul isn't smart enough to sniff that stuff out. That's all on the judge or judges. If they go to me and Jimmy, one of us has it spelled wrong, or we've got an extra space in it. Chances are that's me because, well, Sonia.
Or you get somebody like Paul Nacer. You get somebody like Paul Nacer that comes to a show. One show he might be Paul Nacer. The next show he might be Jimmy's bitch. The next show he might be Kiss My Ass Paul Nacer. You know, that's Paul, and we all love him, but that's how he is. But it makes it very hard for us as judges to keep track of his points. So that's why, like, at the end of all my shows, and I can't speak for every judge, but at the end of my shows, Sonia will holler out, I need everybody to come up to look at your name, look at your spelling, and look at the classes that you're in. If there's any problems or anything that needs to be corrected, please let us know right now.
Yep.
So that way, in the end, you can't be mad
that it's wrong.
Because if your name was spelled wrong after that, that's because that's the way you spelled
it. And we do go by the number, Joe. Number doesn't take care of everything because it still looks at the name as well. If they don't match,
it does.
It's 2 different names and 2 different numbers.
But that's where when Billy has to step in
and override here. But what happens if I accidentally fat finger a number from 611 to 711? And I know who both of those numbers are, but one is down in Georgia and one is North Dakota. So, yes, again, the spreadsheet is better, but it's not 100%. It never will be 100%. We will almost always see a double name in there because at one point, Jimmy might put on Team Notorious Jimmy, and the next time it might just be Jimmy. And that's my joke with the 7-Eleven number, Crafty, is I call them either a poo or slushy. And yeah, sooner or later, we might get it. But it's going to take a while for all the judges to be there. But, it's going to change sooner or later. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And again, as Chris kind of just mentioned there in the comments, he says he's not a member. I do see Chris Mills as number 215. So he should be on there, but only if his number is loud enough.
You might have to reach out to Billy and see, and that's where I go back to. I always tell everybody, we're not perfect. This is not all ran by AI. It's not run by a computer. It's not run by one person. It's run by 20 different people that all feed Billy information. And Billy can only put in what we give him. So there's a very good possibility that, Chris, you might not have got put on that list because, say, that show you did, you wasn't a member at that show. Yep. Reach out to Billy and talk to Billy. And, I mean, when it comes right down to it, Billy has the final decision. Billy can override anything Dan O'Brien says, anything I say, anything any one of our judges. Billy has the final say-so. So if you have a problem or an issue that I can't help you with, or Dan can't help you with, or your local judge can't help you with, reach out to Billy. He'll be glad to help you. I can't promise you that it'll be tomorrow, but he will get to you eventually because Billy is overloaded with emails and PMs and yada, yada, yada. You was. Okay, I'm sorry.
Just one way or another. Yep.
I promise you, Chris, actually, at this point in time, just email Dan O'Brien, and Dan will probably be able to help you with that small issue.
I don't have access to edit it, but I will certainly make note of it. And
absolutely. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I'm busy right now. I apologize. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'll take on because I just can't. I got a lot going on right now in my life and yada, yada, yada. But yeah.
Chris, I promise you. Not saying you weren't on there, but it could have been something where we didn't enter in that number 215 because I know how the spreadsheet works.
Chris, I'm going to go back and say this. Did you fill out that email address just because you paid for your membership, but did you go ahead and fill out the email address? Did you fill out all the information? Because if you didn't fill out any of it, you're not going to be on that. And I'm not saying you did. I'm throwing that out. It's on
the But yeah, I know how that list works, and I know that he's on there because he's got the number. It's filled out on the form on the website. So, unfortunately, with that one, I got to think that because I haven't seen Chris this year.
Chris has been a couple of my shows. He's just been, like everybody.
Unfortunately, I don't want to put the blame on you or Sonia, but one of you two probably didn't put in number 215 in the node number 1 on there, and that's one of those little score things that we simply miss as humans. It's going to happen. If I don't get it, or if you didn't fill it out because you didn't have the number 215 available yet.
That's what I was going to say in that same sense. Was it one of them shows that you paid for the membership at that show? Because if that's the case, then maybe we didn't know the number. That's why your number didn't get added onto it. And I'm not saying that could be a possibility. So just reach out to me, to Dan, or to Billy tomorrow, and we'll help you out one way or another. We got you.
We can get it for you. In fact,
Chris Meals.
And
he's writing you down right now. All right, it's 9:30. I love you guys. 2.5 hours. We're done. Any problems, concerns, or questions, reach out to the manufacturer. No, I'm joking.
There's no number on the notepad.
We'll get you taken care of, Chris.
Chris.
But see, and this is going back to I love you to death, Chris. You were at my house not even a month ago, and you ain't said nothing to me about this. I can't fix it if you don't talk to me. I can't fix it if you don't talk to me and tell me about it. So
he's gonna fix it this weekend.
It goes back to communication, sir. We need to talk. We need to know.
He's going to fix it to you this weekend, courtesy of a 6-iron.
But no, I mean, seriously, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys.
Always.
Thank you for all the support and love that you guys are giving us. And I know you're not mad, Chris. I'm just giving you shit, and I apologize. But from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I can't wait to see you guys all this weekend. And anything else from there, have a great night.
I tolerate most of you, but have a good one.
Why is it not playing? Play. What? It won't play.
Play this.
The outro.